All right. Says we are officially live streaming now here at Red or Green Books. We're live streaming on our Facebook page. Super, super excited tonight to be celebrating the launch of Queen of Swords by the one and only Emily Cordes. Is in the house tonight, y'all. There she is. She is here live in person, all the way from Brooklyn, New York City. So we're super, super excited to have Emily back at Red or Green Books. Eva, turn that light on, please. Thanks. So tonight is a really fun, laid back book release party celebrating her book. It is not like anything I've ever read. It's not like anything else at Red or Green Books. And it would make a super fun stocking present for anyone during the holidays. It is a beautifully separated book into. Well, I'll let her tell to talk about the book and whatnot. But it is a beautiful book. It's very interesting to read. So yeah, it's just wonderful. So I'm gonna let Emily come up and talk a little bit about her book. Emily, of course, released her debut book at Red or Green Books, Armful of Poppies. And we were super excited to have that book. And the same cover artist, right? So Shane Maynard with Guerrilla Poets did your cover art for Armful of Poppies. And Shane did, of course, the cover art for Queen of Swords. So we're super. Yeah, there you go. The Magus has here. He's got Armful of Poppies. It's a beautiful book as well. And so I'm glad to see that Emily gets to have a little fun now and stretch her arms. Oh, look, Shaggy got your book too. Oh my God, got your books. Right. It's super excited to see a poet do a second book or third book or fourth book. And see what they come up with. There's a lot less pressure, I think, the second time around. But Emily, if you want, go into a little bit about your journey to this book in particular, what people can expect to find in this book to buy, when they get this book in their hot hands, all of that good stuff. And then we'll go into a feature for you. So y'all strap in. Let's see. Yes, Miss Emily.
Thank you, Carissa, and thank you so much for helping to make this possible for book number 2. You're awesome. Yeah, hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting. Yeah, so I have been reading tarot and writing poetry for roughly about the same amount of time in my life since I was preteen, and I consider both really great ways of understanding and interpreting and connecting with the world around me. And I think to give a little backstory on how this book came to be, I'm going to read from the intro here. One of my literary mentors, Eric Words Maldonado, shout out to Advocate of Words as he is known in the community, likens poetic ability to a sword. Those who carry it can use its power to honor or defend what we value, cut through confusion, or tear down that which no longer serves. In the tarot, the Queen of Swords card is the feminine embodiment of this principle, a woman who uses her words and intellect to bring truth, clarity, and righteousness to the world. Alternately, she can represent the perils of brandishing these weapons in coldness or anger, or the isolation and difficulty that can come from setting boundaries and standing firmly in one's convictions. As time, self-work, and creative growth have brought me into contact with the many forms of this energy, the Queen of Swords has become an archetype into which I'm living, a reminder to simultaneously stand in my power and lead with my heart. And so because this book is also very symbolic in its structure, if anyone for those who know anything about tarot or those who don't, the deck is divided into 2 sections. There is the major arcana, which is sort of like archetypal symbolic cards like the Fool, the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and so forth. The minor arcana is structured like a traditional playing card deck. You've got cards 1 through 10. You've got the court cards, King, Queen, Knight, and Page. And each of the minor arcana has a different suit to represent it. And each section of the book is so the book is 56 poems, 1 for each card in the minor arcana, plus a separate standalone poem for the Fool, card 0. And so there's 56 poems in this collection. Each section is named after a different minor arcana suit, and wands, cups, swords, and coins or pentacles. And each deals with the symbolic or thematic content of that suit. So it's kind of a more high concept book, but one that I had to be a little more deliberate about, like how I was laying this out and structuring this, but still a lot of fun. Not all the poems in here are strictly inspired by the tarot, but the overarching theme of the content is. So it's a really fun opportunity to kind of use that structure to really have a strong impact. So I'm going to read some poems for you tonight from this collection.
So before you get started, I wanted just to read your bio from the back and read a review, and that way it'll kind of give people a little bit of an introduction to you. And if you will tell people where they can find you, where they can follow you, where they can buy the book, all that good stuff as well. All right, so this is Emily's bio. Emily Cortez is a Brooklyn, New York-based actress, writer, theater maker, and arts manager. She hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is a graduate of Smith College and Columbia University. She has performed in numerous plays, films, and web projects, and is the co-founder of the devised theater group Tapestry Collective. Her debut poetry collection, Armful of Poppies, was published by Red Green Books in 2021. Emily is a former employee of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and an active member of NYC's spoken word community. And Elise Vercella, I just love Elise. She is so supportive of everything that we do here. She writes, with inspiration from the tarot spread with an adept hand, Emily Cortez weaves a beautifully wrought collection of poems about our times. This collection is proclamation, a toast, exultant, despite the fears and chaos that surround us, which is perfect for this time through COVID, right? Many of us got to know each other during COVID. Many of us have met in person. I had the honor of meeting Emily in person in New York City. She is just as lovely, and I promise she's a real human being. So for those who've never met Emily in person, she's real, I promise you. She's not a fabric of our imaginations. Welcome, Quinn. Welcome, Finn Hall, all the way from the UK. Welcome, everyone who is joining us today. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Emily. She's going to tell us where we can find her and follow her on social media, especially because we're live streaming. So folks may be watching this who are not in the room. They may be watching this back at a later date. So this video will be on our Facebook page, but we'll also upload it to our YouTube channel. So if you've not had a chance yet to go and please like, share, subscribe, and follow everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, that helps us as a publishing house be able to reach more people and get Emily's video accessed to more folks. And then if you need to know, you're welcome to take as much time as you would like tonight, Emily. If you need to know how much time you've taken or how much time you have left, feel free to let me know. And then we'll come back after her feature and do a little bit of Q&A. And you're welcome to type a question in the chat for Emily. She is welcome to answer or not answer. She is under no obligation to answer anyone's questions, but you certainly are welcome to ask, and she may choose to answer if she wishes. All right, Miss Emily, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Let me spotlight you, and have a wonderful time.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So I do have a bit of a set list planned, but one thing that I've discovered with the sharing of this book is that, like a tarot deck, I think it also wants to be up to the people who are receiving it. So in the latter half of this, we're going to do a little audience participation. Don't worry, it's nothing going to be nothing too intimidating. It's just you guys are going to help me divine which poem to read for the last couple ones. So we'll have a little planned and a little spontaneous. So to start off, this is the very first poem in the collection. As Marissa had mentioned, a lot of the online community, I came to know them during the pandemic, and Volunteer Shaki, oh nice. And the very first poem, The Fool, I wrote when I got COVID for the first time on April 1st, 2022. So this is called April's Fool. The virus finally got me the morn of April 1st, blinked numbly at the plastic strip, half thought the universe would bust out with the cameras proclaiming, joke's on you, but coronated queen still reigns, and now I play the fool. This last year's been an exercise in faith and hope and trust. Wild hearts burst forth from boxes, half crazed by wanderlust. Dreams set adrift like paper planes, not knowing what will come. Will we rise with the updraft or ever downward plunge? For every act of courage demands an act of risk, each step toward greatness edged adjacent to harsh, rocky cliffs. The hound dogs nipping at your heels could bring complaints or wisdom, but still you blithely greet the void, your compass intuition, your knapsack packed with just the facts, on flimsy pole uplifted. It's up to you the way you'll use the assets you've been gifted. And when we fall, we ask ourselves if retributions come for motley thrown on carelessly, self-rendered blind and dumb. Are we mere pawns tied to the wheel that callous fate has spun? Or has cold justice now decreed our game's been falsely won? We make the road by walking, decisions with each step, humility the barrier by which we stay protected, admitting limitations, bow head and stand corrected, beginner's mind and gratitude for knowledge we've collected, and gallows humor threaded through, for coxcomb bells ere toll for you, so crowned ones heed your honest fools, for therein lies redemption. Thank you. Okay, take a little more swig of water here. Okay. So this next one is the title poem, Queen of Swords. Let me find that. It's like you bookmark these pages, but then in practice, it's like, oh damn, where is this? One sec. Here we go. Okay, Queen of Swords. In the wise words of wise words, poets wield their gifts like swords, to knight the worthy or cut as they choose. Use justly, they'll illuminate. Use carelessly, can obfuscate. Use cruelly, can impale or maim or bruise. I've been the Queen of Cups, chalice offered up in love, been Queen of Wands with fiery torch ablaze. I've nurtured Empress gardens and unwound the devil's snares, but this tower's crumbling and it's time to raise. So I'll unsheath my sword, hoist it high and say no more, to protect or sever as befits the day. Toxic tongues hiss in my ear, wormy thoughts of hate or fear. I shrug them off, my court is not their place. And I'll be just, but won't adjust my borders to house bullshit, for fools who won't accept their proper station. And my queendom will be beacon for my kindred cross the globe, the people of the quill and brush and stage. And with our sword pens brandished, we'll inscribe in air and fire 1,000 different worlds of our creation. Thank you. So continuing a little bit on the pandemic theme, or rather coming out of the pandemic, this next poem I wrote while going to an outdoor dance gathering on January 2nd in the height of Omicron. It's called Tandava. January 2nd finds me outdoors, dancing under cloudy Brooklyn skies, boots mud-caked, souls ecstatic like our Woodstock predecessors, blessed cursed to witness interesting times. Feet charting out intentions as my head's unspooling poems, welcoming a year so young and infinitely old. 360s spun on this high 50s day. Knit hoodies, fingerless gloves, fresh boosters and KN95s are prayer-thin barriers as the oceans and the numbers surge and rise. Spines ripple and arms undulate, but the knot between my shoulder blades won't leave. Can't shake the past from off my back. Should charge rent for how long that monkey stayed. Another page turns. Strange how little changes. My 34th found me in this same park. Slam jamming to Nirvana, masked and joyful. Hope rippling through the mild November dark. Are we brave or merely brazen, or just stupid and contagious? Dancing rings round wilting roses, spiraling toward life or death with every passing day. In India, they say, the great god Shiva dances ringed in flames, poised gracefully between rebirth and sheer annihilation. When his dance starts, the world will terminate. But other versions say, in motion he sustains us, When he stops is where it ends. So cosmic DJs keep that music playing, spin galaxies and chakras like turntables. Can't fall asleep at wheels or at the decks. Until our last day comes, gods and creators will dance each new beginning till the end. Okay, gonna flip around a little bit more here. This I keep reading some kind of like darker stuff here. This one I wrote this March, actually. I got a concussion doing aerial yoga, fell backward in the hammock, hit my head on the floor, lived to write poetry about it. This one is called Acrobat's Net, provided I can find it. Here we go. Okay. I took a tumble in midair. Support systems were flimsy. A lycra sling encasing me, a yoga mat below, a permeable membrane between head and hardwood floor. The last week spun in circles, tricks executed, turned, one then another. What's one more? I asked myself. But accidents occur when we're not careful. Harnesses can slip and lines can blur. And nets you thought could hold you aren't rigged that way. Maybe they never were. Though vices gripped my cranium, I cried less from the pain than from confusion. A not uncommon change of season sight. When March madness descends, rams butt their heads and pressures rise. Unlocking secrets lodged in hips in pigeon pose or child's. Tears thaw and wash the glass shards from my eyes, commingling like the rivulets with melting snows and undulating tides. At least this time I'm supine. It's the dead that float face down, an upgrade laid in gutter facing skies. Acrobats can lose their grips and gymnasts get the twisties. Survival swings in balance when we opt for solo flights. We take the lone wolf trope as canon, easily forget that when we play the hanged ones, caught in the throes of chaos or suspense, we don't need to be martyrs for the causes we half value, or rebels lost without one, knights errant with no kingdom but our own lives to defend. It falls to us to weave our nets like spiders from our bodies. Another goddamn task, we ask, but still a fruitful one. Perhaps arachnid penance for the hubris of believing that our gifts exist in exile, or a paradoxic blessing, an aegis silver-lined, self-spun but shared in making by the hands of the divine. Our armor and our sackcloth, an emblem to remind us that for the worse or better, we're creators of our own stories and lives. We can select the characters and setting, pace and time, and craft our webbing gracefully, fine wrought, fine-tuned, and built to fortify us. Thank you. Okay, this I'm gonna flip around a little bit to a later section. This one is called 4 and 20 Blackbirds. Take a little quick swig of water again here. Dry mouth is real, my friends. Stay hydrated. Okay. Humble pie has come to taste like shit. My whole body puckers at each bite. Once a staple on my menu, now it's just a bitter lemon, stimulating indigestion as I chew through the tough and fibrous rinds. Depression-era cookbooks are ingenious. Desserts concocted to withstand hard times. Wacky cakes buoyed up with seltzer, Ritz and cinnamon turned apples, even vinegar and water into custard alchemized. And it served to fill their bellies, and it served to stave off misery, and it served to tide them over till the brighter days arrived. I've survived my own depression, danced in flames of a pandemic, felt the ebb and flow recession of the shifting ocean tides, done my penance in the desert, just desserts duly accepted, broke apart and came together, jello molded my own life. So I'm tired of feeling guilty, supplicating crumbs of decency as I beg and serve my innards Sweeney style. China plates laid out for critics who can't take the heat of kitchens, sneer at me with sheer derision, casting sugar before swine. When sweetness lives around me, swirled at fairs and cooled on windowsills, I'll step up to the table, make a claim for what is mine. And you can take back all the crows that I've ingested, and robed for sorrow, shrouded all in black. Those 4 and 20 avians can flee their pastry prison. There's better things to bake. I'll light my spliff and set my oven at 420, kick back and relax. With those who know abundance is our birthright and aren't afraid to share an extra slice. So when I get the munchies, I'll roll right with the punches, and guiltlessly I'll know to set aside these promises like crusts so quickly broken, and take these broken wings and learn to fly. And I wrote a couple funny haikus about my love-hate relationship with social media. So this one is called Social Anxiety Media, 10 Haikus. Here we go. Okay. Existential dread. If we weren't tagged in a post, were we even there? Social feedback loop. Share of share of share and share. Rose is rose is rose. Self-care irony. Skipped event to get some sleep. FOMO scroll till dawn. Photo tag alert. Self-esteem Russian roulette. 4, 3, 2, 1, click. Cannot be unseen. Bad pics can be scrubbed from feed, not so much from brain. Once shared, thrice removed. Each repost expands the gap from the lived event. Words are flowing out. Endless rain in paper cup. No, that's just my feed. Longing for the days when trees fell in forests and soul tweets came from birds. Heathen God demands, pay your tithe in likes and shares. Do it for the gram. Funny memes, cat pics, life updates from distant friends. Damn it, guess I'll stay. Okay, so thank you. Let's move into some audience participation if y'all are down for it. So we are going to, this is a little bit of tarot, a little bit of bibliomancy, which if you don't know what that is, it's divination via book. So we're gonna have someone pick a number between 1 and 151. You can type that in the chat or you can raise your hand and say it. And based on that number, I will read the poem on that page. Okay, Quinn's got numero 5. Let's see, what is number 5 here? Oh, yes, I love this one. Okay. This one I actually wrote not long after releasing my first book, which was part of the next 10 poets of Red or Green's release. And people were sending me all their chapbooks, and I was just loving, like, I had a little morning ritual of like reading this stuff in the morning while I drank my coffee. So this is called Coffee and Poetry. Each morning I drink poems in tiny sips. Finest part of waking up. Chapbook spooning with my cup. Kitty curled up at my feet. Brain fog clearing, word steam swirling, strong and sweet like Roz's Bustelo. A hello from my wordsmiths round the world. Reaching out across the ether, gently fortifying me. Before the day creeps in and the matrix tugs my anchor, sucked down into that dark sea of the inbox and to-do list, I'll float across the paper and remember Wilde's decree that all art is quite useless. And thank God for this, because the grind's a coffee grinder and your sanity's the grist. When the buzz of productivity gives your nerves the Java jitters, gotta disrupt the addiction or the shakes and aches kick in. And these tiny private pleasures keep you humming through the day. No crash landings, just a smooth and steady drip. And my thorn-adorned muse from the woven tapestry across the room winks her unibrowed eye at me and whispers a reminder. Love this earth. Take it in your arms today like the lovers you deserve, who'll look upon you like your magic, wake beside you from shared dreams, and each morning take away the lies and bring you hope, coffee, and poetry. All right, so we got number 23 from Gustav. Let's see, number 23. Oh my God, this is such a perfect companion piece too. So there's a reference to Frida Kahlo in that poem. The Hope, Coffee, and Poetry is sort of a paraphrasing a quote from Frida Kahlo. Frida is kind of one of my sheroes, and I wrote a tribute poem to her. This one is called Frida's Revenge. It's almost a trope to claim Kahlo as one's shiro, exotic and artistic in the vein of white blonde girls enshrouded in white sage, urban outfitter shawls and Coachella war bonnets, self-care con sabor, a bobo brunch drink garnish. And as a dorky white girl, I claim no right to her. My truth, a vintage record, just shy of hipster vinyl, stutter skipping stereotypes as I'm trying to tread lightly in this newly gentrified backyard, hoping my presence won't superimpose juice presses over batidos, subletting at gouged prices the space our bodies stole. But who among us, slightly dark and fertile souls, can't see ourselves behind the arch of batwing eyebrows, playing hide and seek as we peek through window slats in ribs, and wake each day to repair and unwind our tangled souls and fix the crumbling columns of our spines. Our arboles de vida, engirded in 1,000 thorny vines, but standing tall like beacons in the night, as we hold our bleeding doubles, hands and throats and beating hearts entwined by one thin red umbilical, we toe the finest line between folk art cliche and archetype, the wounded healer Chiron, with a body not quite human, not quite something else entirely. We walkers between worlds, skilled swappers of 1,000 skins and forms. Like self-stitched dresses, memories adorn us, painted on the plaster corsets that ensconce our mortal bodies, frail and wild. We wear our pain and our strange like jewelry, not the cheap kind, pretty bleeding valentines, on sale for tipsy tourists, charmingly commodified, but trophies like the bones of what we conquered, proof it couldn't kill us, though it tried. For living well's the best revenge, and it's the highest victory to make your art into a work of life. Thank you. Okay, we got 75 from Finn. What do we got for 75? Okay, 75 is the title for page for swords. We got another number? And 76 was Queen of Swords, so pick maybe something else. Anyone want to type? 57. All right, 57. All right, reverse. Okay, this is kind of in the middle of a poem, but I'll backtrack to the page where it starts. This one's called Kitten's Gate. I wrote this for a former friend whose birthday is on August 8th, which is said to be the day of the Lion's Gate portal. Your spirit entered through the Lion's portal. Happy birthday. May your day be sweet. I only spent it with you once in all our years of friendship. From illnesses to fights to absence, that gate kept on sticking. The stars, I find, would never quite align for you and me. You're still a child in many ways, though 5 years separate us. Wide-eyed despite the wounds that you've sustained. Sweet-faced and photogenic as the kitten you adopted. I sit here with my old girl, balding, anxious. You prance through endless carnivals, the lights and jingle, cotton candy haze intoxicating. And you, the main attraction, blowing kisses, blown out mane tossed on display. A self-appointed ring mistress, cracked whips and rattling chains. Forgetting junkie audiences just seek stimulation. Collecting new stuffed animals, the pastel triumphs of a low-stakes game. Small trophies brandished, just as soon abandoned, tramped in the dust of garbage-strewn midways. And now by choice we're distant, specters in each other's lives. You show up on my radar, in my newsfeed just sometimes, oft on the heels of idle thoughts, through screen-shaped portals, pallid poltergeist I've accidentally summoned, carelessly invoked 3 times, like the Burton ghouls in last year's photos, leering smiles behind us as we shriek laughed, unfazed that day by silly childhood phantoms, as by your party's acid-fueled dramatics, bemused and buzzed enough on lighter stuff to just sit back, watch irises unfold kaleidoscopic, as you preened in sunflower fields midst nodding blossoms, Queen's birthday crowned with rings of hazy gold. Embarrassed that I still get frightened after all this time, when you emerge to rattle nerves, scratch windows, I forget. The keys and Palo Santo wands are mine, and I can banish like a mage, cut cords and close that door at any time. Your current flame seems nice enough if photos can divine this. I hope to Goddess that he treats you right. Not like the gothic goblins you adored despite abuse. Pluto's to your Proserpina, sucking sunshine from your life. Despite what's past, I'd still jump fire to save you. Rage righteously like Durga on her tiger. Avenging scourge like Sekhmet. But now I realize it never was my place to give unbidden the things for which your soul must journey inward, traversing through your private hell to find. May this year and this day bring transformation. May bridges raised to ashes light the way. May fires through which you pass turn into portals, and ones you set become new pyres sacred. And all life's immolations leave you less scarred and more changed, not just a kitten, but your lion's birthright, as fierce as you are tender, finding strength. Thank you. Do we have time for another one more audience participation thing?
Sure.
All right. Anybody want to give me a number? Or I can just flip it random. 81. All right. 81, 81, 81. Yes, Marissa, you're going to love this one. Anyone with kids listening, put them to bed because this contains foul language. So I was inspired to write a poem using all of George Carlin's 7 dirty words you can't say on TV. I did it, and it's called Cunning Linguist. I don't spew profanities. I enunciate them clearly like a fucking lady. Birds raised up like pinkies can't keep polite company. At my garden party, I serve sugar, honey, iced tea. Spell it out and you'll see. S-H-I-T. Reclaiming profanity for good reason. Not to shock, but season. Using curse words like a cook uses spices. A little, a lot, and throughout the day. Diction crisp fried for your oral pleasure. A highbrow, lowbrow linguistic buffet. Authentic fusion food with Latin, French, and good old Anglo-Saxon roots. As comfy saying bitch as beatitude. 4 letters, pepper vocab, earmarked for the SAT. Why limit it to 7 words? Motherfucker, we've got the whole dictionary. And my lexicon's too sexy to keep content rated G. People need to calm their tits because language is a paintbrush, and we'd be remiss not to use each and every color in our kits. And if I end up pissing off those boomers with their knickers in a twist, I'll remind them not to forget that they walked out and rocked out with bras torched and cocks out. So please don't blame the language. We're really saying thank you with this flattered imitation, taking your creation and running with it. So I'll see you next Tuesday and in after hours every other week. And if I burn in hell, I'll be in stellar company with that divine cocksucker, Georgie C. Because some words you can't say on TV, but heaven knows anything goes for hoes who deal in prose and poetry.
I just gotta say she like delivers it and you're not ready and you don't know it's coming because she's just so beautiful and like innocent looking, and then she slaps the shit out of you. What is the advocate says you should cut you with a word, right? Yeah, absolutely. Welcome those of us who are just joining us. Yes, you're now the show has begun. No, I'm just kidding. We're winding down, but Emily, I leave it up to you if you were wanting to do another one or not. But this is just awesome.
I think let's see, how long do we have for the Q&A? Like 10 minutes or thereabouts?
Yeah, it just depends on, how things go. I mean, there's not I usually go like 5 or 10 minutes. We have plenty of time if you are wanting to do another piece, and if not, that's okay too.
Okay. I think yeah, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. So I've got another participatory poem, lightly participatory. If you have any beverages, please raise them, because this one, all that involves is just you raising your glass here. This one is called Cheers. Arriba, raise your glass, fill it up, heads lifted to the sky, hearts opened up, full of love for the ones who got our backs and got our fronts, keep us waving, not drowning when the clouds erupt. Abajo, get low, throw it down. May the freaks and the mystics come bless this round. You and me, spill the tea, feel the pulse in the ground, pour a drop in respect for the ones not around. Al centro, to the middle where we meet, to the circles we form, can't stop the beat, because we're living it up and the days are sweet. Building fires all can gather around, come on and feel the heat. By then throw, toss it back, bottoms up. This one's for us all, so raise your cups. Pound it down for the community that fills us up. May our glasses never empty, and here's to us. Cheers, people. Woo.
Awesome. Cheers.
We got some new folks in here, and we got a little more time. So something I've been doing for those who just came is I'm doing a little poetic divination here. We're gonna have people, if you like, type in the chat a number between 1 and 151, and I'll read the poem on that page. I guess we can probably have time to do maybe a couple more, maybe 2, 3 more of those if folks are down. So give me a number. 77. I can do 78. 77 was, I already read something on 77. 78, cool. All right, 77. This is called Poisoned Honey. What is that? Oh, fingers. Okay, we got 64. Okay, 77 and then 64. All right. Poisoned honey. I never meant to hurt you, but it seems that's what I do. Italian blood with opera at base volume. November's child, my handshakes, clawed attacks. Wearing armor for so long, it's become my skin. You're right that I could never let anybody in. And as I soar higher, a drama queen bee, that stinger's gotten sharper out of necessity. My honey's always spicy, just a touch of chili pepper, acquired taste. You'll either love or hate it. And cut with vinegar to filter out the flies that swarm around me. I forget it chases off hummingbirds too. And I still can't tell if it's butterflies or death's head moths come calling when wings collide against my window screen. What good is flight if at its termination, the hive you call home's empty, scraped of comb, and you reign solitary, queen of nothing, your only friends, the bodies you've collected, a nation of contracted worker drones. I can't change how you feel, or if you'll hear this, but here at least I'm free to say my piece. I try hard to be sweet, feed others. Maybe that's the problem. Honey's laced with silent sacrifice, and it's not always the medicine you need. In wrong amounts or contexts, it will choke or shock or poison, and holds the murmur of 1,000 buzzing, murderous bees. So here's the warning label I should have always come with. It's up to you, the dose you take of me. Okay, number 64. Thank you. 64. Oh, damn, too bad Shocky's not here. Shocky and I are both from Pittsburgh. I have a poem dedicated to a Pittsburgh diner chain. Next time Shocky's around, I'll read that. Let's see, 64. What is 64? 64. I could. So 64 is where one poem ends. I could do 65. Thank you, Nancy. Is 65 okay? Going once, going twice.
All right. Yeah, whatever is closest to that number that folks are choosing.
Okay, cool. This one's called Plot Twist. We thespians are resilient by design and by necessity. Acrobats in stage blacks working magic in the dark. Ballet masters poised to pivot, knowing every back-forth two-step is a cha-cha, not disaster, and material for the script. So if we fall, we'll ad lib, say yes and, nursing blistered feet and bruised hearts as we tumble ever onward, each stumble integrated in the dance. Through wars, plagues, and revolutions, always finding new solutions, we'll edit, cut, reshuffle a stacked deck. We travel like the roustabouts, our roots put down on fairgrounds, forever tearing down and mounting tents. Magnificence for one night only, stakes raised high and raised as quickly, flying, roosting with the changing weather. We know the road to glory's like a trip through Monte Carlo, full of dicey hairpin turns and roulette spins that could hit jackpots or send you careening like Grace Kelly, because even starlets fall and princesses can spin out on the cliffs. So when we lose the tosses, we'll cash chips and cut our losses, go back to one, our rally song, plot twist. We'll laugh and cringe and cry, reset, reshoot, rewrite, and start again, because baby, that's the biz. Thank you. And we got 99. So this one, the 99 is where another poem ends, but I'm going to read this. This was with the social media theme. My Instagram got hacked and I had to like basically kind of leave it for dead and start fresh. So this was called TikTok poem about the frustration thereof. TikTok, full stop, locked out. Can we talk? Nerves twitch, phantom limb, and appendage cut off. Call my phone. Is that old? Pick up. No one's home. Are we out there alone or with hearts just shut off? Shit, got a dox, creeps screenshotted and blocked. Thumbs ache from the strain of a world gone insane. But I'll push through the pain, try to resuscitate, reseed long fallow plains. Hope it's not all in vain. Left on red, left up for dead, missives scribbled on walls. Tips from inmates get whispered down echoing halls. Selfies snapped at the void, missing persons on flyers. Wide grin, vacant eyes. Was this shot the last time? Did this carton expire? If a talk isn't ticked, if a post isn't clicked, phone thrown into the river, do we even exist? Just breathe, detox, let the ground take the shock. Patience isn't my virtue, but water smooths rocks. Waiting game, gotta play, see the truth face to face, because it's only a break, it'll all be okay. My comeback will be glorious. Until that day, I'll retreat from the fray, hibernate in the cave, hold myself in my arms, hear the wind and trees sway, and the silence will whisper a healthier way. Thank you. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! All right, let's go. I'm going to invite everyone to unmute their mics if you would like to, and give it up for Emily Cortez and her incredible.
Woo-hoo! Emily, yeah. I can't wait to get my book. Yeah.
Coffee on the way, dude. Hey.
The one and only Emily Cortez. It is a beautiful book. If you'd like to read more on the reviews for her book, more on Emily's biography, it's all on the website, redorgreenbooks.com, red, READ, poetic license, right? So some things, a little Q&A. If anyone has a question, you're welcome to raise your hand or type it in the chat. Emily can choose to answer or not answer anything tonight. You can DM her for a signed copy. You can find her at modern. Postmodern.psyche on Instagram. But again, if you go to the website, her bio is up on the website. You just click independent authors, meet the poets, independent authors, and everything about her is updated on that page. You can click read the reviews from this year. You can read all the reviews on her book. So I wanted to ask, right, this is an interesting book because it's really very centered around tarot and around the deck and around the meaning of each of the cards within the tarot deck. Let's say that someone has no idea about tarot. They don't practice it. They don't read it. They don't know anything about it. Who might be thinking, well, I don't know if I could, I don't know if this book is for me because I don't know anything about tarot. I mean, clearly from hearing all of her work tonight, there were so many incredible takeaways from her poems. I personally don't think you need to know anything about tarot to get what you need out of this book. But what would your advice be? How would you you know, what would you say to that person who's maybe not sure because they're not really into tarot?
I think really just kind of it's just archetypes. I think if you're I think you can appreciate the poems. I mean, it helps to have familiarity with tarot, and it kind of gives a little bit more of like insider understanding of some of the themes and some of the references. But I think really it's just a matter of, you know, symbolism. And I think one of the reasons that tarot is so effective is because it really just speaks to something deeper in all of us. And whether you know, call that like by the name of a certain card or a certain, you know, reference, or you just see it as the thing it symbolizes, I think it can resonate on many levels for people. So I guess the shorter way of saying this, like, don't let this scare you off. It's just a collection of symbols and archetypes, and I think anyone can get something out of it if they just give it a try.
One of my favorite lines, and you read it tonight, is the Depression era cookbooks are genius. I was raised by women who survived the Great Depression. You know, I come from a very humble Italian family, so we learned how to really use everything all the time, try to minimize the waste. And so, even though, yeah, we're talking about tarot, you can tell by her set tonight that you're not going to only get one poem repeated, you know, 56 times. You're going to get so many different things in each of the pieces of work, and each section is so different, which is indicative of what she's trying to accomplish in this book, being that each section is supposed to represent something new, and each poem in each section represents a different card, and she wrote to every single one of those. Y'all know how hard that is. Like, it is no small feat what this woman has accomplished in doing what you've done for this book. But I love it. Like, this woman, she's got sass and sexy and serious and silly, and no shortage of life experience to add to the themes behind these cards. um another line of yours was your knapsack packed with just the facts. I love her play on words, the way she uses words to accomplish what she's trying to convey in her book. So even if you don't know anything about tarot, maybe you should get this book because it will help you. Symbols are everywhere in our everyday life, whether they're traffic signs, whether they are a crucifix affixed to the wall, you know, whether it's the brand of clothing you're wearing or the type of car you're driving. Brands and symbols are everywhere. And so it's just kind of a different way of looking at the symbols within this book and how she translates that in her life. So if anyone has questions, you're welcome to type in the chat. I was wondering, I always ask people this during book club, so I will ask you, what was your absolute favorite thing in writing this book? And what was like the most challenging thing?
Wow, that's a good question. Very big question. I think what I really just love about this book is that it's very representative of just the past 2 years for me. It's been kind of like I pretty much started collecting material for it around the time, like right after I had sent you the manuscript for my first book. So this is like going back to like August of 2021. And I didn't get the idea for it to be tarot themed until a little later on, but this is representative of 2 years that were very significant for me. I self-produced, I wrote, performed it, and self-produced a devised play. I released my first book. I had a lot of just personal growth and creative growth, made a lot of new friends, let go of a lot of old friends, and really kind of feel like I have come into my own in a lot of ways as an artist and as a human being. So this really feels, poetry was kind of my way of, you know, expressing and understanding it all. And so I feel like when I'm really just that this whole collection is very representative of that. So I'm really proud of just kind of how it all came to be. And even now, just sort of living into it and seeing like, how does this want to be delivered and presented to the world? It's kind of fun to be in living relationship with one's work. the frustrating part, as Marissa, you can speak to, was we just had like so much back and forth with the printer and the cover for the cover art, like having to like retool the cover design because of like the spine, like the words not fitting on the spine and the
Now it's perfect, right? I mean, all
yeah,
those little tweaks,
and
and it's
all the
absolutely
inward visuals, yeah. But good things come to those who wait, and you know the timing worked out, you know, just fine. But we had like all this back and forth where I'm just like, oh my god, Moret, it's shit.
I know.
But that's part of
It
it.
was totally worth it, right? Because she has these gorgeous you know, section headers in her book, which, like, for example, this is, I just flipped to it, it happened to be swords. You know, she has these gorgeous graphics to delineate the sections in her book, and it just turned out to be a beautiful book. It really truly is just a gorgeous book. Not just in the literal sense, like, you know, with the words, but with how it lays out, how it reads. Everything about the book is just beautiful. And I always ask people, like, what's your best advice for those who are maybe thinking about publishing a book, who are considering, you know, putting it all out there? Like, what's your takeaway? What's your advice that you would give them?
Um, I would say one, obviously, you know, just keep writing, and you know, however, put yourself in places where you're inspired to write, where it's conducive to write. I think just being part of this online community and other online communities just keeps giving me more and more inspiration for stuff, and you know, kind of poets inspire other poets, and it just kind of we just all feed each other and keep the ball rolling, and you meet people. And like I was lucky enough to meet you through the online community, and that's how my first book came about. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, you put yourself out there, you keep continuously working, and you know, have fun with it as much as you can. Remember why you're doing it, remember why you started, and let that be what drives you.
Remember, you're right. I mean, that's I always tell people that, but I'm making a note of that as well. Remembering your why for whatever projects you're doing in your life is very important. The Magus Gustav Salas says, "What he says is the Queen of Swords the most meaningful in the tarot to you? What card speaks to you more than others?"
Oh, that's a good one. I really, I think the cards that I really kind of, it can vary. Like I think I have different cards for like different seasons in my life. Like I know there was a time when I was sort of like really digging like the Hanged Man, or really digging like the Chariot or so forth. But I always kind of gravitate towards Queen of Cups a lot though, because she's represents like kind of the mastery of the emotional realms, and sort of like being a very like presence of love and nurturance. So I do tend to connect with her a lot. But yeah, I was not even, funnily enough, the Queen of Swords, I've only recently kind of gotten more into her. Like at first when I got into tarot, like, okay, she seems a little cold and a little like intellectually removed from everything. But I think that that's also because, you know, sometimes the truth can be a little harsh or a little jarring to those who don't get it. But if you really dig more into the Queen of Swords card, there is a lot of warmth and a lot of heart beneath her kind of more steely veneer and her strength. I think it just takes a little more work and a little more like intimacy with the archetype to see that.
And I love that because there's so many people who are like that. They take a little time to warm up and dig down into really what is this all about. And I think by getting this book, even if you don't know anything about tarot, you're going to learn something. And that is priceless. It's invaluable when you're learning as you're reading and growing. But the book kind of it definitely embodies the need to dig, almost be like an archaeologist, if you will, and digging through this book to pull out the lessons from it. And Emily has done a wonderful job in assembling this book. I was just like, wow, it was beautiful. So I can't wait to see whatever it is you choose to do next in your life. I'm super, super excited. When I was invited to go to a comedy night a couple of weeks ago and read some parody poems, and I was thinking, you know what would be so dope if we did an adult puppet show. And I was thinking, oh my God, Emily Cordes would be like the best person to write an adult puppet show play with. Oh my God.
That would be hilarious.
It would be so amazing.
Like dick puppets or something. Oh my God.
So I'm kind of working on stuff on the side. So if I'm able to secure stuff, I'll let you know. But you would be such a fun person to write a play like that with, and to watch something like that come to life. Because you just have this amazing mind and brain, and you're very unapologetically courageous, which I appreciate that too, because I'm very similar in that way. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions they would like to ask? You can raise your hand or feel free to unmute if you want to ask Emily. And if not, that's okay. You can get her book at postmodern.psyche on Instagram. You can DM her. You can also reach out to us at Red or Green Books through the email, through the website, and whatever, and we'll get the author connected with you so that you can get a signed copy of her book. Please do it. Holidays are coming up. If you don't know what to get someone, get them a copy of this book. It's not like anything else that is out there right now. It's not like anything else that has come through the doors of this publishing house, and certainly would be a very interesting read. You're not going to be bored reading this. I guarantee you that. Emily, anything else you would like to say? What's up? What's coming next? What can people expect from you in this coming year? You got live in-person stuff, online stuff. What you got?
Well, the next online I'm going to be doing is on Dane's Time to Arrive open mic this Tuesday. If you follow my socials, I will plug that. And if you're in New York City, I'm planning on doing an in-person release event at a bookshop in my neighborhood. That's still kind of ironing out the details, but that'll likely happen in the new year. Another thing that if you're at all interested, this is also sort of a TBD, but I hope to host another one again. I periodically do tarot and poetry workshops on Zoom or in person, in which we use the cards of the tarot as symbolic poetry prompts. And it's always really fun to see what folks can come up with, just using the tarot as like inspirational material. Gustav and I wrote an awesome collab poem inspired by that. Gustav, when I get you, when you get the copy of the book, we gotta read our collab when we both have it. So yeah, it's just, just keep an eye on my socials. I'm always doing poetry stuff, theater stuff, just give me a follow and stay up to date.
Wonderful. And the book is only $15. It's practically free, right? We said 15, Emily?
Yeah, 15, yeah.
What did we? Okay, good. I was like, wait, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
$15 plus shipping, right? Shipping, I believe, in the US is $6. If you're international, so you don't live here, message Emily and she can get you a quote for an international shipping price. There is no reason why anyone worldwide could not get a signed copy of this incredible book from her. This live video that's on Facebook right now on our Red or Green Books Facebook page, we will upload that to our YouTube channel. If you've not had a chance yet, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow. The YouTube channel has so many videos up there from all kinds of stuff that we're doing. This weekend, Saturday, is the last reading for American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence. That is going to be at 3 p.m. I believe it's 3 p.m. Eastern. And it is, yes, 3 p.m. Eastern. That is where we will be reading, inviting all the contributors to come back. I mean, it's 3 or 4 hours full already of people reading from all over the world in a collective call for end to gun violence. And then this coming Sunday, the 17th, is our author talk with Kimberly Shaw. Kimberly Shaw is one of our original authors here at Red or Green Books, so you can catch her this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, thank you all so very much for coming. Congratulations, Emily Cordes, on your most incredible book, Queen of Swords. Pick up your copy by DMing her, postmodern.psyche on Instagram, or go to the website redorgreenbooks.com, red, R-E-A-D. You can get all of her handles on the website as well, and she'll sign and send you a copy. Any last minute comments, anything you wanted to add before we close out, Emily?
Just thank you all for being here. It's always such a gift to get to share my work with people, and I really hope that you appreciate it. So thank you for the support.
Yes, thank you all for coming out and supporting Emily, and thank you for doing your second book here. It's been so much fun watching everyone grow and evolve and change. So I've been very, very excited and humbled to be on this journey with you. All right, y'all, we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming out. Emily, peace and blessings. Stay warm up in New York City. We'll see you all next time, okay?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.